Okay. Umichi je potando duso sanje kunjingonya rasa jogongo sotanda pa zavala manala goja za dabya doje sheje soto ache yamento deje vonjoba sejilombo davo jebe ko sheje so de langoja za gombolo do aya dewada tome ye chola jita yedewa da sheje volaso Kendo choye na langoja za yalolo langondo nye na jela medezebe luto nye boche jawa lama de langoja za da so se jeta je jelo cho so do wa chinje lapto so cholando lo wa chinje lapto so lancho basa wa chinje lapto so choba ye cho so wa chinje lapto so no je je de ponda lama so la jebso cho wa chuje se je lata lama so la jebso cho na so ponda lama so la jebso cho to ba da ro wa chinje lapto so to je ro wa chinje lapto so Jazz don't that much in Jelapto, Chaja Chamber, Chojing on Roads and the lot of Rachin Jelapto, so Sanja Kudosa, Lamala, Kusunko, Chambezalon, the Menel or Ramashabana, Sedandro, Nyamba, Changelo. Okay. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Today we're going to start this text called the Nagarjuna's letter to friends. Sadly, this text, it didn't translate the first part of the title and pay homage. So I will bring from other texts. But before that, I'm going to talk about the Nagarjuna a little bit, short biography of who wrote this text and what is it related to for audience, what kind of audience he wrote. First is Nagarjuna was born in the South India, I think one Brahmin family, but when they did astrology and his lifespan was really short, no matter what they do, even they do really, great ritual, but still he cannot live longer than 7 years or something. So then his parents don't want to see their child's death. So what they did was when he reached into the near to the 7 years, and they with the many servant send him too far, so that way they don't have to see their dear one's death. But then end up he come to central India from South India too, and he met Saraha, one of the great Mahasiddha, called the father of the Mahasiddha, Saraha. And through there too, he also made other great guru, and some of they give him Amitabha's special empowerment, and he practiced that way. He reached to the longevity, kind of immortal longevity by that practice. Then, okay. So actually, Nalanda was built by Saraha, and Saraha was the first abbot of the Nalanda. So then later, Nagarjuna became Saraha's disciple, and then later Saraha gave to Nalanda to the Saraha, to Nagarjuna, and Saraha himself went to in the forest, I think 12 years retreat, forest retreat, completely long term. During those years, there's two kind of stories. One story saying is some Naga came to receive teaching from the Nagarjuna. So when they received teaching, and the smell was so good, sandalwood kind of smell, so good. So Nagarjuna asked them, what kind of smell is this? So they said, oh, this is in the Naga, we have some particular special tree, and that tree, it put on the body, it comes this smell. So Nagarjuna said, I really like to have some of those. Can you bring them? I want to put the one particular Tara. So that reason, Naga invite him to Nagaland, Naga realm to receive teaching. So they said if he give teaching in the Naga realm, and they will offer him this central. Or another story is another version is actually during those 12 years. And 1 year there was a so shortage food, drought, no rain, and shortage. There are no donation coming. So Nagarjuna knew how to transform the metal to the gold. So he sold the gold and buy the food and feed to the monk. Actually, it become business. So since it has become a business, when Saraha come out from the retreat, and he called to the Nagarjuna, said, "You feed to my monk what called the wrong livelihood food, which is provided from the business. So you're not allowed to, here, and you need to purify it, and you have to accept your punishment. So what is my punishment? Is it you need to build 1 billion stupa in the wall. So in Tibet, we have old stupa. Some saying it's built by Nagarjuna. I don't know. Not same design as this days stupa. So point is that Nagarjuna need to some kind of saint mud from the Naga realm to build that stupa. So that reason he went to Naga realm. So those two versions. But point is Nagarjuna went to the Naga realm, and he gave long time teachings. And when he coming back, he bring the Bhajana Paramita from the Naga realm. Because since Buddha passed away, from there to until Nagarjuna come, like 400 or 500 years, Bhajana Paramita is not exist in the human realm. Only Naga kept. So then Nagarjuna bring to the earth, to the human realm, those Bhajana Paramita teachings. So same time, he built that those stupas for his purification. So that is how then when Nagarjuna come back to the human realm, and he started giving teaching. So when he giving teaching to the public, at that time they don't have a fancy temple, throne, and those. So he was giving teaching somewhere and outdoor, and the sun was so bright. So two Naga, small young Naga, come to the receive teachings. When they came to receive teaching, then they saw Nagarjuna's sun is so bright on his body. So they make the shadow by the two snake on the Nagarjuna's head. So that way now you see the Nagarjuna have lots of snake coming out. So that is how he got the title of Nagarjuna. Is Naga mean the snake, or a snake. As in the India, snake is called the Nag. So that is how he got the title. So this is one part of his life story. So that is showing us actually from this story, what we can learn is it's a really heavy negative karma if you serve to the Sangha or Three Jewel wrong livelihood, something that is you create with a negative way, I mean, the Nagarjuna's punishment is because he did the business. So monks shouldn't do any kind of business like selling, tax, or any kind of business. There's a Kamboba's one student sold the one tax. So then later he realized that was a really heavy negative karma of the wrong livelihood, selling the tax. And he asked to Kamboba, what is the how I purified. So Kamboba said, you have to build that same tax, 100,000 or something like a huge number. You have to build. At that time, not easy to build because there are no, not yet printing machine or wooding, so have to do by hand everything. So even writing 100 books is really difficult. So that kind of a heavy punishment can get if you do business with especially those ritual object. So it's not so good. So from the lay people, I mean, I'm not saying it's a business, it's a wrong livelihood. If you do legally business, I don't think so, it's a wrong livelihood. But if you do illegal business, and that illegal business money is offered to the monk, it's a really heavy negative karma. So should I do that one? So that is one. Now, this is related to the text. I really like this text. Is one reason is because nowadays most of listener for my case, most of listener are lay people, and a lot of texts actually directly wrote to the monks or nuns ordained. So something that lay people cannot do, that text said, like if you do go to the 37 practice of Bodhisattva, in there said, one thing is you have to leave your homeland. Lay people cannot do that one. You have responsibility. So you cannot do that. So that way is suitable to the monks and nuns, that kind of teachings, but not to the lay people. So this text, like a letter to friend or lame up the path, mainly talk to the, or wrote to the kind of like a main disciple or listener is the lay person. So that reason those are really suitable to the lay people especially. So I think this is a really good for you guys to listen and try to study to how to be good Buddhism, not just taking refuge and just recite some mantra. You cannot become a Buddhism. You just become like a Chinese called the Taoist and the Tibetan called the Bembo. Just reciting some mantra and doing some ritual. It's not become Buddhism. If you want to become a Buddhism, you have to learn the path of the Buddha. So that reason we have to learn what is the path of the Buddha. This kind of text give instruction. Okay, now this is also not in the English here. If you can find this text translated by the Pemagara translation group, it's a really good, but that text is English is only have to buy online. It's not have free on the PDF. So we couldn't make that one here. So only you have to buy. We like free things. So there's pay homage. This is not from the Nagarjuna. Pay homage is a translator. This translator is called the Kawapeze, one of the earlier Tibetan translator, one of the first Tibetan 7 monks, and also one of the 25 disciple of the Pema Sambhava. This is called the Kawapeze. He translated from Sanskrit to Tibetan. And during that time, Tibetan put so much resource on the education, actually, from there. This is around like an 8th century or 9th century. From there too, actually, Tibetan most, the financial is put on the education, especially Buddhist education. So that way you don't see in Tibet a big castle or, like fancy building or anything. So even the monastery, compared to the number of a monk, it's not that big, those monasteries. So they didn't spend that much money on the building, house, or those things. Later, after the 13th, 14th, 15th century, and more spend money on the material. But earlier, all the money is spent on the education. So the Tibetan royal family support to the so much education, to this. So king created kind of system how to translate. Actually, I think that the Tibetan only have the dictionary to how to translate from Sanskrit to Tibetan language. I never heard any country like China, Korea, Vietnam, any other Buddhism country, they have that kind of dictionary. So that reason, Tibetan became closest to the Sanskrit. Actually, one reason is that one. Because even some Korean monks said, there's some sutra are in the Korea, in China, in Tibet, same sutra. to translate their language. And one Korean monk said, closest from the Sanskrit is the Tibetan one. So because of the Tibetan, put so much resource on that. So King created this system. When you're translating, you cannot just pay homage to anyone. You have to be selective. If you are translating that the text is belong to the Vinaya basket, you have to pay homage to the omniscient one, because Vinaya is only can know completely is the omniscient Buddha. If you're translating Sutra basket, then you have to pay homage to the Buddha and Bodhisattva, because most of Sutra, I think pretty much every Sutra is a conversation between the Buddha and Bodhisattva. You see all the Sutra. If the text belong to the Abhidhamma, you have to pay homage to the Manjushri, because the Manjushri is the Lord of the wisdom. And understand of the Abhidhamma need great wisdom. So there's this reason King make this system rule that's called in the Tibetan called the Gyabokkache Cha. So King make the rule. So that way this one is said youthful pay homage to the it said in the Sanskrit English, homage to the gentle and glorious youth. So gentle and glorious youth is the Manju Gosha mean Sanskrit. Manju Gosha mean the gentle, glorious youth. Gentle means that he is free from all the roughness of afflicting emotion. So that we call them gentle. And the glorious is actually who have a realization of the non-duality wisdom. And youth means the Manjushri is the father of all the Buddha can say, or he never age, continually stay young to help sentient beings. So the reason that is a Manju Gosha mean the gentle, glorious youth. That is a Manju Gosha's name. So pay homage to the Manju Gosha. Okay, now the actual text, Nagarjuna wrote this one. Oh, you with the nature of good quality, who have become the worthy through the constructive deeds. So this is talking about the king. So you have a naturally good qualities. Why is a naturally good quality? It means that in the formerly many good deeds done, in the past life or earlier, they did lots of accumulate the great merit. So that way it's called a naturally good quality. You don't need to put too much effort, because some people naturally kind. Some people even try to put too much effort, cannot become a kindness. Why they are naturally kind? Because of in the past life, many times they did the kindness. That way they become naturally kind. So that way it's called the naturally good quality. Mean that, it's that your personality is have good things. Why you have a personality, have a good quality? Because you have done many good deed in the past. That way you have. So you become who worthy through the constructive deed. It means that you become worthy to or fit to listen. So this is called that suitable to receive the teaching. That way, because of his good karma, because of his past lives, lots of accumulation and devotion, in this life he is become worthy to receive teaching. Why? Because he have a devotion, he have a wisdom, he have an interest. Those all come from many lifetimes accumulation. So when we have this on our, we not just get because we are a human being. Those all our devotion, our faith, our interest in the Dharma is many lifetimes our hard work's result. So don't waste that one. What it mean the worthy mean this one. So who is the worthy to receive the teaching? Is somebody who have a devotion naturally, unconditional devotion, unconditional love to Dharma, unconditional interest in the Dharma. That kind of being is worthy to. It's not like somebody have a money or not. Somebody is powerful or not. Somebody is good looking or not. Somebody is young or not. There's nothing have to do with those for the become worthy to receive teaching Dharma. So constructive deed means the good deed in the past life did. Please listen to this verse. So now it's Nagarjuna is asking to the king, in the noble matters, which I have complied in the short for the sake of instilling an intention for the positive force that come from following explanation of the blissfully gone Buddha's speech. This English is really hard for me, so I will read from this one. It's an easier one. Okay, this is Pemakara translation said, listen now to this few lines of the noble song that I have composed for those with the many virtues fit for good, to help them yearn for merit, aspiring from the sacred word of He who is gone to bliss. That is Buddha's name. So this is what it means, saying is it, Nagarjuna is not saying is you should listen what I'm going to tell you. Nagarjuna said you should listen. This is a worthy to listen. Why this is a worthy to listen? Why this is a noble matter? Because this comes from Buddha. I'm not giving my teachings. This is Buddhism. You know, you have to be whatever you give in teachings have to be kind of come from the Buddha or trustworthy. Master like a Nagarjuna or Asanga. Otherwise, if you try to give your own thought, it's becoming conceptual. You know, sometimes, especially in the Vajrayana, this is a problem. Is sometimes people think the Guru's word is more important than Buddha's word. That is a mistake. Lord Jidisungha said, if your Guru's word is contradictory with the Buddha's word, you should avoid the Guru's word. This is a beautiful part of the Buddhism. Even you, neglect or you, not listen to the Guru. When your Guru give you false teaching, you're not breaking Samaya. You're not making, and you're not commenting non-virtue. So that is a beautiful part of Buddha. Buddha himself said, just don't listen because I said so. Make sure it's common sense. So that way, there's no more clairvoyant or more qualified to give clear teaching than Buddha. If somebody is contradicting with the Buddha's word, then you shouldn't listen that one. So anything is what the master is teaching, most of the time they base on the sutra. You know, all the text commentary. Nagarjuna wrote the commentary, mini commentary. Asanga wrote a mini commentary. Those all is based on the sutra. They wrote the commentary. They didn't write because what they understood. So this is really important in the Buddhism. So make sure. So that way Nagarjuna also saying to his friend king, this is worthy to listen. Why? Because this is based on the Buddhist teaching. I make the kind of short instruction. Because when you try to read the sutra, it's really difficult to understand. Because sutra meaning is so wise, so wide. You know, it's try to make the one central meaning is really difficult from the sutra. So that is how can do is a really skillful one, like a Nagarjuna and Asanga can do that one. So the reason Nagarjuna did this one as all the Buddhist teaching and make kind of short way to we can understand the common people. So that reason Nagarjuna said this is a trustworthy to listen. So that way he asking to the Naga. So basically saying this is called the using the commitment of the compose the text as an exhortation to listen. Okay, so now second one is the second verse is called lesson in the humility. The why you should listen. Humility means the being humble. In the Buddhism, your strongest enemy is the pride to achieve a Buddhahood. There are no, I think pride is long-termly worse than actually other afflictive emotions, because the pride block you everything what you want to achieve. So that reason you have to be humble. So including Nagarjuna, he's being humble. So called the humility. I think it's called humility. Yeah. So humility with the regard of the word and humility regard of the meaning. So those two. The verse 2 is called just as the wise venerate the statue of the blissful gone, even out of the good, regardless of the how it is being met. Likewise, although this poetry of the mind may be the deficient, please do not be scorn it, since it is based on the expression of the hello dharma. I think holy dharma is the same meaning. So this is the first one is an example. Wise one, a wise one don't look the material, look the stage meaning. So that way, doesn't matter what it's made by. It's wood, plastic, cement, stone or gold. They treat same Buddha's statue. If a wise one, you show them one is a gold statue, one is a plastic statue. They treat both are same way. Idiot one, then they say, oh, this is gold. They put it really some special place. And the plastic one put on the, on the with shoes or somewhere. So sometimes I see some, devoted to the Buddhism, but when they have a statue made by the cement or something, they just live outside. Sometimes even they live near to the where they put the shoes. It's called a garden decoration. They don't put it in the shrine room. But if you have a material, expensive material statue, and they put a really special place, that place they make really clean, put a really nice fabric and really decorate it. So they treat a totally different, same Buddha's statue. So that is called unintelligent, So wise one never do that one. They treat equally. Long as it's a Buddha's statue, doesn't matter what kind of material it is. Because the blessing is a gold statue cannot give you more blessing than the plastic statue. It doesn't matter what material. It's a blessing is the same. And whatever the purpose of the we have a statue is the same. It is any kind of materials. This is just called a symbolic. That symbolic, that is both can be equally symbolic to the Buddha. So wise one can see that one. So same ways they say is here said, likewise, although this is my poetry, this my writing is really deficient, I mean the meaning problem. This is not really good, not beautiful. But still, please do not scorn it. That don't look down. Why we have to respect even this is not good writing? Because he said, because all those expression is based on the holy dharma, not his own expression. So that reason have to be respect. Then other translation use the wise will always be honored and bow down to the Buddha statue, though they are made by the wood. So too, although this line of the mind be poor, do not feel scorn, they teach the holy way. So this is two different translation. But main point is it doesn't matter how your writing skill is good or not. And Nagarjuna said, my writing is not good, but it will benefit for you because it's based on the holy dharma, spiritual dharma. So that way it will definitely benefit for you if you cherish with this. Okay. Now it's called humility with regard to the meaning. So although proportion proportion of the resonant word of the great sage of Buddha may already have entered your heart, isn't something made of the limestone, made even wider by the light of the winter moon. I think midnight moon is better than winter moon. So this is what this means is saying is so now telling to the Nagarjuna, telling to the king, although or you already have a great knowledge about the Buddhism, you already know all those Buddhist teachings. Great sage mean the Buddha's teachings you already knows, but uh, if you listen again, it become your knowledge become more brighter. So it's just like if somebody is a white chalk or limestone is a white color. On that midnight moon is a really kind of like morning moon or the gungta. It's kind of like a late night moon. It's really bright. It become a more brighter. So it's become a much better even. And there's one story. One time, Padu Rinpoche, he traveled like a, really like a beggar or ordinary, really poor looking. And he reached one monastery. And in that monastery, head of the monastery, monk, he was giving teaching on the word of my perfect teacher, actually, which is composed by Padu Rinpoche himself. So Padu Rinpoche stayed in that teachings. He was listening. And he came there every day, listen to teachings, the teaching. So then slowly through the conversation, he made it. Then people realized this was Padu Rinpoche, who wrote the text, what they're studying. So the Lama and everyone came to say, please, I'm sorry, we didn't recognize that you are the Padu Rinpoche. Please, now you give teaching. So Padu Rinpoche said, no, I like to listen. Even this is my book. When somebody is giving teaching, I learn a lot of things new from here. So Padu Rinpoche listened the whole teachings and received teaching from this head of the monk, that his own text. So he said, even if it's my text, when I listen, I learn lots of things from here. So that is it. More you study, more you learn, your learning is become better. Some people say, because nowadays lots of people say, when said, oh, such and such is giving such teaching, and they say, oh, no, I already have these teachings. Like you are like, some people think you are like a tape recorder. Oh, I already recorded one time, if I don't want to record anymore. We are not tape recorder. When we receive in teaching, we only understand the glimpse of some things. So every time when we receive that teaching again and again, or give to someone teaching, your understanding is get to deeper and deeper and deeper. Padu Rinpoche himself gave the way of a Bodhisattva teaching more than 100 times. And he said, every time when he's giving teaching, he learned something new. So that reason, never be limited yourself. More you receive those teachings, your understanding is becoming deeper, more profound, more brighter. It's like on the chalk. When you get to the moonshine, it's become a more. Okay, I forgot reading this translation. While you have surely learned and understood the mighty Buddha's many lovely words, is it not so that something made of the chalk by moonlight let shine gleaming wider still? So that way, this is the second translation. So this is I think we never make the restriction or limitation of ourselves. Oh, I got this one. I don't want this one, and this and that, because our brain have no limitation. And until actually we become a Buddhahood, there are no really we learn completely. It's all process. No matter how many times you receive, it still is a process continually. There no have a limitation of going further for the education of the knowledge. More you dig deeper, there further you can go. There no like a bottom. You will never hit the bottom of the knowledge. So you can go to ocean have a bottom, but knowledge have no bottom.